Well, this is my first YouTube video. Not very good at the whole public speaking thing, but today I'm smoking a Deadwood Tobacco Dominicana. It just came out pretty good. I like the honey sweet tip on the end. It's my favorite part about Deadwood Tobacco. I mean, all their cigars, my favorite's really the sweet chain, but they just came out with this, so I figured I'd pick it up and try it today. It's got a really sweet flavor to it. You know, today I kind of wanted to just talk about, purpose in life. And I feel like I kind of had it wrong for a lot of years. I'm only 24, but I've had my fair share of life experience. It's a really, really good cigar. The purpose of life, I think, is just to be. And I was fed all this stuff growing up, kind of like everybody else, where you gotta be somebody, you gotta be somewhere at a certain time all the time. Sometimes times like this, it's just good to sit in nature and smoke a cigar and just reflect and just be, man. Just being. And it kind of took me a long time to come to terms with that, and I still have my days. But a couple months ago, I lost my dream job, and just been trying to figure things out ever since. But one thing I figured out is that purpose isn't defined by what you do. It's defined by who you are to others, how you are as a man. Providing, helping others is the purpose of life. I mean, thousands of years ago, you lived in a tribe, hunter-gatherers, The whole purpose was to provide for each other, to help each other. I feel like as a society, we've really lost that connection, Maybe that's why some people's lives feel so empty. But, including mine. On occasion, I try my best. But, human at the end of the day, so. Too much thinking, not enough doing. Too much thinking, not enough doing. And you know what? The answer to a lot of things when it comes to purpose comes in times you'll never expect, and some real bad times, Negative times lead to positive change, so. That's how I try to think of it, at least. But, I figured I would start a YouTube channel just to start a sense of community for other people, I understand what it's like to be trying to figure all this out, and I honestly am starting to feel like that feeling's never going to go away. don't think I'll ever fully have it figured out. I don't think a lot of us ever will, but one foot in front of the other, day by day. It just takes time, you know. And as you keep going, I mean, in life, things just keep happening. You know, lately, the past couple months, I've kind of just felt like an astronaut floating in space. I don't really know where I'm going, and I feel like I don't really know what I'm doing. So, yeah. But I know what I'm doing right now. I'm sitting out here, I'm smoking a cigar, I'm enjoying nature. It's a nice day. A little windy, as you can hear, but beautiful nonetheless. Perfect day. I'm watching the sunset, smoking the cigar. This is what life's about. This is what life's about. You know. Caring for others. Enjoying the day. Spending time with family and friends and the people that you love. That's purpose. Not money, not a job. Those things come and go. Man-made constructs of life, when it comes down to, it's really just being there for others, you know. I've always got a real sense of belonging when I was helping other people. You know, I was a volunteer firefighter for a couple years. It was like one of those, what do they call them? Junior firefighters. You don't really do much. You train with the guys at home. You know, maybe drive the fire truck here and there on a truck check, get some gas in it or whatever. But you know, it felt good to like have some sort of hand in the community at one point, you know, and I'm trying to figure out, you know, maybe not necessarily firefighting, but what could get me back to that feeling of purpose of helping others, you know. And I think a lot of people have that question. What is my purpose? What is my purpose? And like I said at the beginning of this video, purpose is just to be, man. Just to be. And it sounds so simple, but we think so much and too much sometimes. And you know, I'm not a perfect man, but I do my best to be a good one. I do my best to be a good one. Yo. And you know, the more you care about certain things going on in your life, it kind of seems like the deeper that sadness hole can get. But you know what the trick is? Let it go, man. Just let it go. If it's causing stress in your life, if it's creating a life you don't want to live, just let it go, man. Just come back in nature, sit down for a little bit, and just by yourself in a quiet place, maybe smoke a cigar, and just enjoy it, man. You only got one life, just enjoy. Try to enjoy it. It's always about, you know, oh, if I don't become somebody, I'll disappoint everybody else. Man, who gives a shit about anybody else? You know, I mean, kind of contradictive to what I said earlier, but everyone's always going to have their own opinions. And if you ask a million people for their opinions on a certain topic or a certain way you want your life to go, Are you really living a life that's for you? Or are you living a life that's for somebody else? Kind of a question you really have to ask yourself, right? I think a lot of people find themselves living for other people, and that's why we all stay lost for so long. Whether it's a stressful job or a life you created that doesn't feel like yours, you gotta look yourself in the mirror and kind of be like, is this really what I want in life? You know, I honestly thought I wanted a lot in life. I'm very ambitious. I've achieved a lot in a short amount of time. But, you know, I kind of looked in the mirror and I said, you know, is this really what I want? And now I'm kind of rerouting my life to the life that I want. Everyone has their own opinion, especially, you know, family, friends. But I'm creating a life that I want to live, and I'm content with, you know? And it helps kind of talking it out with myself, you know? Because I feel like I think a lot of thoughts and a lot of deep ones, but I don't ever say them out loud because I honestly don't have very many people to talk to. I don't really have a lot of friends, you know? I think a lot of people try to stay distracted in life with social media, video games, TV, just so they don't have to think about or feel that feeling of what is my purpose, man? You know, people just, they think too much. If it's a miserable job or things ain't working out so great or the way you hoped, I'll tell you one thing, there's always time to change it, number one. No matter where you're at in life, no matter how old you are, you always got time to change and be a better person. But I'll tell you one thing, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Maybe it's time that you look in that mirror and you ask yourself, is this really what I want to be doing in life? Am I really content with this? With being stressed all the time? For what, you know? Man, my favorite part about cigars is not even smoking them, right? Granted, it is really nice to smoke them, but it's the place of thought that it puts me in. The way it makes me think. I don't know, being with nature, I'm secluded, nobody's around. It's great. I love it. I wish I could do this every single day for the rest of my life. And I try to do it as much as I can, really. Because I like to think, you know. But I don't like to think too much about the wrong things. I was always so concerned for years about figuring it out. You know, I graduated high school early, graduated college early. Kind of figured out that the job I'm pursuing isn't really a job I wanted anymore after I got fired, but maybe that was my wake-up call, you know. Maybe that was a turning point for the better, you know. Maybe I just wasn't where I was supposed to be. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. And you know, I don't expect a YouTube channel to just blow up or something. I'm really just trying to talk man to man, or man to woman, or I guess whoever really needs to hear it or wants to hear it. Mainly it's just for myself. Never really been good at the whole speaking thing, but I kind of just feel like I'm talking to a bro, you know. Life's been tough lately. It's been real tough. Real tough. I had a really high-paying job, and now I'm delivering pizzas. So, yep. Yeah. I've had a lot of loss throughout my life, though. But I think I'm finally starting to figure it out. But I think you really have to sit with yourself. You really need to sit with yourself and quit staying so distracted all the time and just sit, man. Think. Just be, you know. Think philosophically, not so much thinking about, oh man, I gotta go to work tomorrow and then I gotta get all this to-do list done, you know. Just sit down and just be. Said the same thing a lot during this video, but that's really what it comes down to, you know. And I don't know if anybody's really gonna listen to 20 minutes of me talking here, but we're all just trying to figure it out, man. You know, we're all just trying to figure it out. And at the end of the day, you need to live a life worth living, because you only live one life. But you need to live for yourself more than anybody else and find your specific purpose. But I really think a lot of people just lack that community. They don't have any deep connections with anybody anymore. I don't know if it's social media or what it is, but man, you know, I personally don't really feel like I have an extremely deep connection with anybody besides, you know, my girlfriend, but all my connections are kind of surface level. But one thing you got to realize is no one's going to understand you like you understand you. Nobody. And you can't expect them to either. You can't. You know, I don't even really know what I want to talk about today. I'm just kind of going off the whim, things I've been thinking about. And you know, you see all this motivational content about, oh, you gotta be somebody, you gotta be rich, you gotta be this, you gotta be that. It's bullshit, man. Bullshit. It's bullshit. You think 2,000 years ago people cared about being fucking rich? You know, you wonder why this depression and all this anxiety and stuff exists. I mean, we all work soulless jobs and don't have much going on after. 2,000 years ago, all you were thinking about was, how am I going to survive the next day? What do I have to do? I'm going to have to hunt, eat, blah, 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 you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you know, that made the community stronger because you're all fighting for the same thing. You know, you sit around a fire maybe at the end of the day 2,000 years ago and smoking a pipe or some sort of tobacco or something, and you're just talking, you know, looking at the stars and shit. We lost that. Where did that go? Seriously, where did all that go, man? I wouldn't mind having a house at the mountain somewhere, secluded from everybody, you know, fishing, hunting, enjoying my life. But, you know, I got some things tying me down. Maybe someday that'll come to fruition, doing something like that, some sort of farm in a secluded area. I don't know, you know. I really don't know. I try to keep my ash going as long as possible because I feel like it gives the cigar more flavor. And you know you got a good tight wrap when it will stay long like this. It's a good wrap. I just lost it, but you know. But yeah, man. A lot of people think they need friends and stuff, but really you just need you back, and you need you back. And I think that is something, you know, I've also said to myself too. Just gotta find yourself again, man. I'm still working on it every day. You know, sometimes I'm sitting in my room and I'm like, man, what am I doing? What am I doing? I thought I had all this potential when I was younger, do this and that, blah, blah, blah. But who cares, man? Who gives a shit? Just being, dude. I'm just existing like everybody else is. Like, you drive on the road, there's all these people, and their car is going somewhere different, going through something different. And everyone has such a self-centered life. It's all about them all the time. You don't know that person in the car, what they're going through, or you don't know that person on the sidewalk. You ain't never seen them before. They're just being, they're just existing. You know, it's just existing, man. That's all there is to it. And trying to make the best out of what you got. This won't be the only video I make. I'll make probably quite a few more, at least once a week. I really just like to talk it out, you know, talk to you guys. I really just enjoy the peace and quiet. But everybody goes through something, man, you know. I really like those Dry Creek Wrangler School videos where the older man's talking. I never really had a dad, so to say. You know, my grandpa was around for me, raised me up pretty well. But you know, listening to him talk, the things he's been through and the philosophies that he has about life, I mean, that's kind of the same boat I'm in, really. You know, at the end of the day, you just gotta be a man. I really believe in that message. I really do. Some say I'm a little old-fashioned. Maybe it's because my grandpa raised me up that way, and I'm all right with that. You know, I feel like there's not a lot of real men around like us, or, you know, my definition of a real man is someone that really stands by their moral principle, does the things they deem right, you know, going against the crowd, going against the wave of society, doing what you know is right. That's what being a man's about. You know, being the foundation for your family. That's what my grandpa always said. You gotta be the foundation for your family and the rock to lean on, you know. Maybe you don't need to talk your problems out. Maybe you just need to think them through. Take time like this. Just chillax, you know. I fucking love just being so much. That's why I say that so much. I love coming out here, nobody, just chilling, man. Just a little rabbit over here, eating the grass. It's just, life is so simple. It's just simple like that, man. Just observing. I feel like what really helps find yourself is being one with nature. Bringing yourself back to how it should be, you know. Really big into the whole philosophy thing. Just the philosophy of life. I like hearing what other older guys have to say with the experiences and things that they've been through. Because you can learn. There are lessons you don't have to learn yourself. That's why YouTube is such a great place. You see all these people that are giving you advice. Some of it good, some of it bad, but you're getting different perspectives. I like that a lot. It's nice to step away from everything, even if it's for an hour, 30 minutes, a couple hours. But I really feel like I was going about life the wrong way all those years. I was trying to achieve something and be somebody, because I wanted to prove everybody wrong. And I did. Proved a lot of people wrong. Did a lot of cool things with my life so far. Many more to come. Just reassessing right now, but it's not, you don't always gotta be somewhere, man. You don't always gotta be somewhere. Take time for yourself. I also like fishing for that same reason. Fishing, man. Out there on the lake, peace and quiet, hearing the wind, birds chirping. I don't even care about catching the fucking fish. I just like being out there, man. It's nice. It's peaceful and relaxing. Catching a fish is pretty cool, but just enjoying nature. I like it. That's what life's about to me. I'd love to find some like-minded people and make some new friends. I'm really working on that right now, making some new friends. It's hard. It's real hard. But just remember, you don't need nobody else. You just need you. You need yourself. You gotta kind of figure out how to come back to yourself, you know. And I really think helping the community or doing something that helps really brings you back to that. I really like doing those volunteer meals for kids that are, you know, struggling in school or, you know, financially. You make these meals for them in the wintertime, like around Christmas, and then give them to community schools and they pass them out and stuff. I like that a lot. I'm probably going to get back into that again. But, you know, I feel like purpose really comes from, my purpose but specifically really comes from helping other people. I love helping other people. I love seeing people smile, and I love making their day. I really do. You know, I had a pretty high level job for a little bit, and it came with a lot of respect from the people around you, because of a job title. Can you believe that? Because of a job title. So now the people I was even around were like people I wanted to be like, quite frankly. That ain't what I want to live my life for. I don't care. I don't need some social status, man. I don't care about that. And it took me getting that job and doing all that to realize, and losing my job, that I don't need it. I don't. I thought that was what I wanted out of life, and then when I had it, it's just like, this isn't me. It's not me, man. Got a lot of bugs around me, sorry. But figure out what makes you you. That comes from a lot of reflection. It doesn't come overnight. I'm still figuring it out every single day. To try to take at least an hour in myself and just think, you know, or just be. Go on a walk, man. Go on a walk. By yourself. You know? That's how you figure it out. A lot of people hate spending time by themselves. They always like to be surrounded by other people because they don't have to think and they don't have to feel alone, you know? Hate to break it to you. You're born alone, you die alone. You're alone 90% of your life. You're always alone up in here. Always, you know? That's okay. You gotta be okay with that. You gotta be okay with being alone sometimes. I personally really like being alone. I really do. I like being out in nature and just by myself. It's my thing. Just inhale the bug. Yum. This cigar is so fucking good. You guys gotta try this. It's called the Dominicana. Pretty sure I said that earlier. Dominicana by Deadwood Tobacco. It's good stuff. Deadwood. Oh, so good. Anything Deadwood. I'm a big fan. But I'll leave that with you all today. Honestly, could probably talk for hours. Just about random thoughts I have, you know, and a lot of reflection on my life thus far. But you don't want to reflect too much, right? You're never going to get another today, though. Remember that. You're never going to get another today. The sun comes up tomorrow, but you'll never get a day like today. So, just be. That's your purpose. Just being. That's what I think. So, anyways, hope you guys have a good day. I'll check in with y'all soon.